It took almost 3 years for a Sweetwater man to clear his name after he was arrested and charged with aggravated assault.
Authorities accused Tyrome Ferguson of shooting a man driving on I-75 in Monroe County during a case of road rage.
But as the investigation and trial played out, evidence paints a different picture. 10 News anchor Shay Smith explains the case in this 10 Investigates. Shay.
Robin and John, Tyrome maintained his innocence and said there was no doubt in his mind that he did not shoot anyone during that incident. But it took more than 2 years and a mistrial to uncover evidence that showed he shot no one on the interstate.
You can't find a shortcut to beat when you're playing with people's lives. So they didn't look at what it cost me.
After 3 years, Tyrome Ferguson says his name has finally been cleared after being wrongly accused of shooting someone during a road rage incident. Regardless of medical records and bullet holes that show Tyrome did not shoot anyone, the past still lingers.
People can look at it, well, he's just mad, he's just ill. I'm upset because I have to start over.
Tyrome Ferguson is from Sweetwater and served in the military between 1985 and 1993. He also worked for the police department in Madisonville and Sweetwater. But in 2022, Ferguson found himself on the other side of the law. In late February, Ferguson was driving home from work late at night on I-75 in Monroe County. He says he got stuck behind a slow vehicle in the fast lane, flashed his headlights, then passed them.
Their lights was very dim, like their alternators out. So I said, well, maybe they having issues and problems. So I slow down and I wait for him to get up there. Well, dude, he's slouching down in the seat and he flips me off.
He then sped away, but a moment later, Ferguson says he heard gunshots from that same vehicle. 2 kids were also inside that car.
Boom! And I look up. This guy he's out the window. When I say he's out the window on me like that. And they're in front of me. So I look up, I was like, I'm saying to myself, this guy just shooting me?
Ferguson says he grabbed his own handgun, and while still behind their SUV, he guesses he shot 4 or 5 rounds in the air to scare them off. A few hours later, he got arrested. Monroe County authorities charged him with aggravated assault after the passenger in the SUV from the highway was taken to the hospital with a gunshot wound.
And as he was interviewing me, he said, well, this guy got hit. You shot him. I said, shoot nobody. He said, you shot him. I said, no, I ain't shooting nobody.
Ferguson says he sat in solitary confinement in Monroe County Jail for several days. The alleged victims were Ashley and Patrick King of Georgia. 10 News interviewed them soon after the incident, but Ferguson says they are not victims, and this was not a case of aggravated assault, but a case of modern-day racism.
They just went on and said, well, there's a black guy. He's trying to get in the gang. He's a thug. He's this and that. It was just a thing that I'm a black man. And it was a white lady who did all the complaining. And that's the way our world is. It's racism. Racism's always going to exist.
Ferguson says evidence collected in the case raised obvious questions about what happened that night on the highway.
The proof showed that he shot himself. From the doctor's records, he shot himself. Accidental handgun discharge and malfunction.
The small caliber gun that Ferguson says Patrick King used was not found. What was found in their vehicle, though, marijuana, Ziploc bags, and other drug paraphernalia. Investigators did not charge the couple with any crime. In August 2023, Ferguson went on trial. That's when Ferguson says he and his attorney got a surprise.
It floored us when somebody said, oh yeah, there are bullets in the car.
Ashley King testified that bullets were found in her car. That information had never been given to the defense.
This is one of the 2 most egregious acts that I've seen in practicing for 48 years in the state.
The judge declared a mistrial. Records show after the mistrial, the alleged victims told prosecutors they did not want to come back to the state because in part of Tennessee's marijuana laws. In September 2024, Stephen Hatchett became district attorney of Monroe County. By December, he dismissed Ferguson's case with prejudice, meaning it cannot be raised again. In a written order, the state was ordered to pay attorney's fees to defense counsel for post-mistrial hearings.
It is a very rare thing that a judge orders a prosecutor to pay attorney's fees. I don't know that I've ever seen it.
Ferguson says this case was mishandled, lacked evidence, and was drawn out far too long.
They knew that I didn't shoot this guy, but they still carried it on. 2 years and 10 months.
I would hope that you never sit here and ask me questions about a case that my office handles start to finish. That's similar to this.
Now, the detective that investigated this case no longer works for the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. He now works for the Meigs County Sheriff's Office, and it is unclear as to why he is no longer with Monroe County. We also pulled his personnel file from when he worked at the Harriman Police Department. It said he was fired in 2016 after providing false information to supervisors during a police pursuit. And stories like this one are told because of you, our viewers. So if you have something you would like us to investigate, you can email me here at WBIR.
Hey, thank you for sharing that story with us. We appreciate it.